The Secretary General of the United Nations, of all people, said that welcoming our 8 billionth person was an occasion to celebrate our diversity. Yes, what a comfort that people of all races will be contributing to an already unsustainable carbon footprint and choking and starving equally. Have you seen what has been happening with the climate in recent years? Did you see England last week? England is pretty far north, but the runways are melting. Our farmland is shrinking due to scorching temperatures and drought. 1 out of 4 people on Earth is food insecure, what we used to call hungry. There's another one. And billions face some form of water scarcity. Water isn't the only thing we're running out of. Clean air, quality soil, rainforests, wetlands, the precious metals that make our phones work. We're even running out of sand. Sand, which may not seem important, but without it you can't make concrete or glass, like for windows. Please. And those who are regarded as such should be treated for TikTok brain. The Secretary General of the United Nations, of all people, said that welcoming our 8 billionth person was an occasion to celebrate our diversity. Yes, what a comfort that people of all races will be contributing to an already unsustainable carbon footprint and choking and starving equally. Have you seen what has been happening with the climate in recent years? Did you see England last week? England is pretty far north, but the runways are melting. Our farmland is shrinking due to scorching temperatures and drought. 1 out of 4 people on Earth is food insecure, what we used to call hungry. There's another one. And billions face some form of water scarcity. Water isn't the only thing we're running out of. Clean air, quality soil, rainforests, wetlands, the precious metals that make our phones work. We're even running out of sand. Sand, which may not seem important, but without it you can't make concrete.
Another thing I know about sand too is, use sand as a baseline for all the alley where you put sludge for the wastewater treatment plant. And I worked there. Kept there about a couple of years back, and they've been around sand. They said it's too expensive to stock those pathways for the sledges, pulled sand. So now they're going to have to start digging out the dang dirt, which makes it a little more problems.
Fast, like for windows, so you could look outside and see the world ending. And all of this is not unrelated to there being ever more people on Earth who tend to use things. Tracy Stone Manning is our director of the Bureau of Land Management, and she said, if there were fewer of us, we would have less impact. We must consume less, and more importantly, we must breed fewer consuming humans. Yes, I thought this was a duh. And until very recently, it was. But now there's a growing movement of people more worried about population decline. Decline, that's what we should be celebrating. But Elon Musk says,
the biggest problem the world will face in 20 years is population collapse.
oh, come on, of all the excuses not to wear a condom. Population collapse? Has he been to Disney World on a Saturday? The only thing that's collapsing is the Dumbo ride under the weight of all those obese 8-year-olds. I'm not worried worried about the population collapsing. I'm worried about the glaciers collapsing and the food chain and the electrical grid. Look, I'm a big Musk fan, but I have no idea what he's talking about when he says Earth could sustain many times its current population and the ecosystem would be fine. It's not fine now. Nature World News just reported an unprecedented global extinction crisis with more than 1 million species expected to die off in the next few decades. The bees are all dying, and the coral reefs. Fish populations in the ocean are collapsing. What the fuck are these people talking about? America's population is now about 335 million, and there's a supposedly smart guy named Matthew Iglesias who wrote a book called 1 Billion Americans, arguing there should be 1 billion of us. 1 billion Americans. Insert your own traffic on the 405 joke here. His argument is basically that the country with the most people has the most power, and that should be us, and why not? We have plenty of space. Okay. For the millionth time, and let me repeat for the thinking impaired. Yes, we do have space. Point conceded. It's not about space. It's about resources. Didn't we just run out of baby formula? Was the problem not enough babies? Yes, there's space on Earth for more people, but somehow they all seem to want to get on this train. You can make 1 billion Americans, but they're still not going to want to live in North Dakota. And even if they did, where are all these new residents of the greater Bismarck metro area going to eat? Soylent Green? The famous theory put forth in 1798 by Thomas Malthus that population grows exponentially, but water and food do not, has not really changed. We've improved food growing, yes, but it's still finite, and you can't grow water. The planet's resources are finite, but our predilection to always be down to fuck apparently is not. Scientists say it would require almost an entire other Earth to produce the resources we need to sustain the population we have now. It would take 5 Earths to support the population if everyone consumed like the average American, which most of the world wants to do. To deny these facts makes you, I don't know, some kind of a flat earther of population science. There just is no there to the argument that we can keep adding people with no consequences. The argument, as far as I can tell, is the same one people use for Bitcoin. We haven't thought it through, but who cares? It seems like it would be good for business. And business is affected by declining birth rates. Japan is often cited as a frightful harbinger of things to come in other countries. You see, for some reason, some years ago in Japan, the men decided to stop having sex and just masturbate on the subway. The ensuing decline in birth rates was routinely called a population crisis. But A, it's not a crisis, Japan is doing fine. And B, the crisis is really just one of GDP growth. Yes, a falling birth rate does cause some problems because we need fresh new participants entering the workforce to fund the retirements of the previous generation of workers. And yes, if birth rates decline too much and people keep living longer, the result is a society of the aged and enfeebled, or as it's known today, congregate. But isn't running out of water an even bigger problem? Finiteness as a concept has not been repealed. We've forced upon ourselves an economic model where businesses need ever more customers, but more customers means more carbon, more waste, more plastic in the ocean, more mouths to feed. Let's figure out a way to be happy without always having to grow and grow and grow and always keep growing. What are we, a fucking alien on a spaceship? Stop spawning, people. Climate activists shouldn't be chaining themselves to trees. They should be blocking couples from entering restaurants where they play the violin.
Okay. Yes, fine. Bill got off the damn wokeness or anti-leftist or fat shaming or the young people. You finally got something substantive about the environment. And of course he's talking about population. Now, of course, he did kind of mention one other thing is you got all these pro-birthers. And it goes like, I think Justice Alito, I think was probably saying, we need to keep the people above the babies. Well, what they probably don't mention is the white people are making a few babies, and these old white people who's afraid there are great white replacement theories. They want white women to pop out white babies. But, if we get to that, in 20 years, people will say, you got to do with abortion, pro-life. 20 years, they're going to be bitching about too many mouths to feed. Yep. That's it.